Good morning, Ian Crouch with your 8:30 Hunter News update. Newcastle Lord Mayor Nuatali Nelm says she's committed to ensuring the city remains a nuclear-free zone. It comes after the Morrison government signed a new defence agreement with the United States and the UK, which would open the way for Australia to build nuclear-powered submarines. The AUKUS Pact has been welcomed by Hunter Defence Task Force Chair Tim Owen, who says the region's manufacturing sector could profit from the deal. However, Nuatali Nelm says activists, including the Hunter Peace Movement, fought to declare the city a nuclear-free zone in 1982, and Council reiterated in June this year its position to never support nuclear material or infrastructure in the Port of Newcastle. Port Stephens police say they're astounded at the brazen attitude of a COVID-infectious man who they say flouted the public health orders twice in one day. On Wednesday, health officials advised the Nelson Bay man he tested positive and was required to self-isolate for 14 days. Police say they visited the man to ensure he was fully aware of his obligations. However, they say a neighbour reported him leaving the property shortly after police departed. The 25-year-old was found a short time later and issued a $5,000 penalty infringement notice. It's alleged he left his home for a second time on Wednesday and a second $5,000 fine was issued. Police are now seeking an order to have the man placed under guard in hotel quarantine. Dungog yesterday came out of lockdown despite sewage detections of COVID in the local wastewater treatment plant. Questions have been raised as to why the LGA came out of lockdown with the traces being found. Deputy Premier John Barilaro says health officials don't base their rules on sewage detection alone.
Sewage detection is a good indicator. Sewage detection gives us some advice. It's a good lead. But we've also known there's been cases in that area previously. It could be shedding, and we're not going to lower the threshold that sewage detection is the reason that you either lock down or lock down a community. So absolutely, unless there's cases.
Meanwhile, more casual COVID exposure sites have been reported for the Hunter on the New South Wales Health website overnight. 2 Bunnings stores at Maitland and Katara have been listed for last Thursday and Friday respectively. Islington tobacconist Pumped Up Kicks and the Simply Pharmacy at Toronto were also visited by confirmed cases last week. Detectives are looking into the circumstances surrounding a fire which caused extensive damage to a home unit at Jesmond. Firefighters were called to the 3-level brick and tile complex on Mordew Parade at about 5:15 yesterday afternoon to find flames coming from a window of one of the units. Fire and Rescue New South Wales says 4 people were safely evacuated. The fire caused extensive damage to a bedroom in one of the units and no one was injured. The fire is being treated as suspicious. A Port Stephens Youth Mental Health Service says the lockdowns are having a profound impact on kids and teenagers. Caring for our Port Stephens youth is the area's only mental health service and has seen a surge in presentations from young people. COPSI President Brooke Vitnell says the organisation runs a number of services.
Obviously, the COVID-19 pandemic has been a hindrance to that, but we have online services available. Our counsellors are now opening walking and talking, complying with the COVID-19 restrictions, but still getting out and seeing those young people face to face.
2NURFM Sport.
Former Knights winger James McManus's lawsuit against the club is expected to be settled out of court. The case was set to be heard from Monday. Before the court was informed by legal representatives, substantive proceedings had been settled. McManus announced he was taking legal action against the club in 2017 due to their handling of concussions, which he claims left him with a permanent brain injury. Meanwhile, Inari Tuala is set to be signing a contract extension with the club off the back of his 3-try performance in last week's finals loss to the Eels. Former Maitland halfback Nick White will partner Quade Cooper in the halves when the Wallabies meet South Africa at Suncorp Stadium tomorrow. The 31-year-old makes his return to the starting side after being named on standby for Australia's last 2 matches. And Jets coach Arthur Pappas says he expects new recruit Michael Weir to put pressure on fellow goalkeepers Jack Duncan and Noah James ahead of the upcoming season. The 24-year-old earned a 1-year deal with the club after an impressive train and trial period. And the winning numbers in Powerball are 1, 22, 30, 31, 32, 8 and 9, and the Powerball number is 9. And now you're up to date with the latest 2NURFM Hunter News.